I mean, there have been 68 district judges confirmed in the 117th Congress. In terms of motions pending for more than 6 months, you rank number 3. You all came on at the same time. You all had the same problems with COVID. You're the 3rd worst. You really think of all the other district judges in the 7th Circuit, you're the one that ought to be promoted based on this record?
Senator, this is something that I've discussed with my fellow judges. Many of us new judges from...
I thought you said you'd never looked at these statistics.
I haven't...
Just wow. If you've ever wondered what real accountability looks like, this clip is it. Senator John Kennedy absolutely came prepared, and what we saw in that snippet is the kind of questioning every American deserves from their elected officials. Kennedy didn't raise his voice, didn't play games, he just delivered cold, hard facts. And judging from the judge's shocking lack of awareness about her own record, we're about to watch a masterclass in congressional oversight. I'm Audrey, this is Congress Lens, and in today's reaction we're diving deep into just how badly this confirmation hearing went for Judge and why Senator John Kennedy's insistence on clarity and competence matters now more than ever. Before we jump into the full breakdown, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss another moment where Congress gets real. Because trust me, today's moment is very real. Alright, let's roll the full video.
Judge, welcome.
Thank you.
You are probably the least productive member of your district court, isn't that right?
Well, I have not considered myself in those terms, Senator.
Well, let me explain what I mean. You have 125 motions pending that you've declined to decide.
Let
me finish. That's more than any other district judge in the entire 7th Circuit. In fact, you rank 7th highest nationally, do you not?
I am not familiar with those statistics, Senator Kennedy.
You haven't looked?
I did look in preparation for this hearing, but I didn't compare myself to others.
You haven't seen that you ranked the 7th the worst in the country in terms of making decisions?
You are the first to tell me this. And I think for me, I stress the quality of my decision-making. And as I explained, I came on, I was the first district judge to come on during this administration.
Yeah, but so were all the others. I mean, there have been 68 district judges confirmed in the 117th Congress. In terms of motions pending for more than 6 months, you rank number 3. You all came on at the same time. You all had the same problems with COVID. You're the 3rd worst. You really think of all the other district judges in the 7th Circuit, you're the one that ought to be promoted based on this record?
Senator, this is something that I've discussed with my fellow judges. Many of us new judges from...
I thought you said you'd never looked at these statistics.
I haven't, these particular statistics I am not familiar with. But in terms of new judges, both from the current administration and the former administration, we are quite a collegial bunch. And oftentimes talk about the pressures of a new judge and the way reassignments work in our district, which is that you get, for example, 300 cases.
Yes, ma'am, I understand. I'm familiar with the procedure in federal court. Here's what I'm trying to understand. Why is your record so bad?
Well, I don't view it that way, Senator. When I look at the quality of my decision-making, the feedback that I get from parties,
of course parties are not going to criticize you. They want you to rule in their favor.
I understand, Senator Kennedy.
I mean, that's just the way it works. Help me understand why you have such an abysmal record in moving cases. I mean, it costs a lot of money to litigate, and people are paying lawyers. And time is money. And of all the district court judges in the Seventh Circuit, you're the worst in terms of moving cases. Why do you think you deserve to be promoted over all of those others?
So, Senator, again, I'm not familiar with the statistics, but I stand by my record and that I give parties what they need. I think, I am regularly in my courtroom. I am regularly issuing decisions. I just came on at a very difficult time where there was a backlog in the courts.
So did everybody else. Let me ask you, when you were a partner in your law firm, you volunteered to write a brief on behalf of the Brady Center. You wrote the brief, and this is what you said. You volunteered for this. You weren't being paid. Is that right?
This was a pro bono case that one of my partners brought in, yes.
You said, quote, assault weapons may be banned because they're extraordinarily dangerous and are not appropriate for legitimate self-defense purposes, close quote. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy. Just to clarify there, I was local counsel. Our Supreme...
Yeah, but you wrote the brief. Tell me what you meant by assault weapons.
Senator Kennedy, actually, I did not write the brief. The brief was written by...
You signed the brief, though, didn't you?
Correct. I signed the
When you
brief.
sign a brief, you're testifying to the court that everything in it is true, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So
they're your words in terms of the court, right?
Well, you're correct, Senator Kennedy.
Okay.
I would never
Tell me
sign...
what you meant by assault weapons.
So I am not a gun expert, and at the time, that brief, I think, was about 10
You
years...
were giving the court advice about, say, ban assault weapons. What is... You told the court you were an expert. Just tell me what you wanted to ban.
Senator, sitting here today, as I said, I did not write that brief. I was local counsel.
Sign the brief.
I understand. At the time
Tell me what you wanted to ban. That's all I want to know, Judge.
I don't remember the exact definition of assault weapons in the ordinance that was at issue.
So you submitted a brief to an appellate brief. You signed it, and you don't know what. And you said abolish assault weapons, and you don't know what you wanted them to abolish.
Senator, at the time that I signed the brief, I read the brief because our Supreme Court required an Illinois bar member to sign the brief. I was not responsible for researching the content.
You were responsible for the brief.
Absolutely. And sitting here today, I do not remember the characteristics of that were cited in the ordinance for the assault weapons ban. It's not an area of practice that I have specialized in. I'm sure 10 years ago I could have answered your question.
And
but
Judge,
sitting here today,
you think you
Senator,
deserve to be promoted with this record?
Senator, I stand by my record. I stand by my record.
Senator Butler.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Congratulations to you and your...
Okay, that was even tougher to watch all the way through than I expected. Let's talk about what just happened here, because Senator John Kennedy did exactly what a United States Senator should do. Shine a bright, unforgiving light on performance, honesty, and competence, especially from someone asking to be promoted to a lifetime position. The first thing that stood out? Senator Kennedy came armed with actual data. Not feelings, not speculation, hard statistics. 125 pending motions. Worst in the entire Seventh Circuit. 7th worst nationally. 3rd worst among new judges confirmed in the same Congress. And Judge Understone's response? I'm not familiar with the statistics. Over and over again. How do you not know you're that far behind? How do you not walk into your own confirmation hearing prepared to explain a record this week? Kennedy wasn't being rude. Kennedy was being precise. He gave every chance to clarify, to offer a real justification, to show self-awareness. But instead, Judge kept deflecting back to quality, a talking point that collapses the moment you realize litigants are paying for delays that the judge refuses to acknowledge. Then came the assault weapons brief moment, And that just made everything worse. Senator Kennedy asked a basic, fair question. What did you mean by assault weapons when you asked a higher court to ban them? Judge signed the brief. Signing a brief isn't symbolic. It's an affirmation of truth, accuracy, and responsibility. Yet when Kennedy pressed for a definition, Judge said, "I didn't write the brief. I don't remember. I'm not a gun expert." How do you not remember what you asked a court to ban? How do you maintain credibility when you can't define the very term you argued against? Kennedy exposed something critical here. If you're willing to sign your name to a legal argument without fully owning or understanding it, why should anyone trust you with a promotion? And that's the heart of this entire exchange. Senator John Kennedy wasn't attacking. He was protecting the standard required for federal judges: truthfulness, competence, preparedness, and accountability. When someone wants higher authority, the bare minimum is understanding their own record and the positions they've taken. This wasn't Kennedy being tough for show. This was Kennedy doing the job the Senate is supposed to do. If more senators question like this, we wouldn't have lifetime appointees floating through the process unchallenged. Let me know what you all think in the comments. Did this hearing help or hurt the judge's credibility? And do you think Senator Kennedy was fair in how he approached this? If you want more breakdowns like this, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to Congress Lens. I'm Audrey. See you in the next one.